Hollywood's golden age, from the 1930s to the 1970s, is remembered as an era of glamour, legendary stars, and timeless films that shaped global culture. But what if the most powerful stories were never shown on screen? Behind the glowing spotlights and flawless smiles existed a hidden world of silence, discrimination, and unchecked power. While audiences admired heroes and happy endings, real lives were being controlled, erased, and silenced. Tonight, we pull back the curtain to reveal the truths Hollywood worked hardest to hide. This era was not only about movies. It was about influence. Stars were more than actors. They were symbols of authority, morality, and identity. What they believed, what they said, and even what they chose not to say helped shape how millions of people understood race, power, and belonging. In many cases, prejudice was not shouted from podiums, but whispered on sets, written into scripts, and enforced through silence. This is the story of how discrimination quietly thrived in classic Hollywood. Protected by fame and normalized by tradition, one of the clearest examples of subtle but damaging behavior can be found in the career of Jack Elam during the late 1950s and 1960s. When Western films dominated studios across California, Arizona, and New Mexico, Elam became a familiar presence. Though never a major star, his constant work gave him informal authority. According to memoirs from crew members and assistant directors, Elam frequently used derogatory nicknames when referring to Mexican-American and Native American actors during breaks between takes. These comments were never made publicly, only in spaces where no press or executives were present. The actors targeted rarely responded, knowing their careers depended on silence. By 1964, during a Western filmed in New Mexico, a wardrobe department member recorded Elam complaining about a Native American actor being given additional dialogue, claiming it hurt the film's authenticity. Years later, during a 1968 shoot near Monument Valley, a background actor recalled Elam, remarking that social changes meant he could no longer speak as freely as before. Elam never faced public criticism. His story reveals how discrimination often survives not through outrage, but through routine behavior protected by silence. Where Elam operated quietly, John Wayne made his views unmistakably public. In 1971, during a now infamous interview with Playboy magazine, Wayne openly stated that he believed white people should retain leadership roles in society. He argued that other communities needed to be properly educated before assuming power. When discussing Native Americans, he defended land taken by settlers as the natural result of stronger people advancing forward. He criticized minorities for identifying as hyphenated Americans, insisting they should simply be Americans. These views were consistent with Wayne's career choices. Films like The Searchers 1956 placed white characters at the moral center while portraying indigenous people as threats. Off-screen, Wayne was a prominent member of the Motion Picture Alliance, a conservative organization that resisted social change in Hollywood. While his statements caused backlash and led to canceled honors at universities, Wayne never apologized. He saw no reason to change, cementing his legacy as one of Hollywood's most openly controversial figures. Another form of influence came not through interviews, but through content consumed by children. Walt Disney rarely made public political statements, yet his impact was arguably deeper. From the 1930s through the post-World War II era, Disney held near total creative control at his studio in Burbank, California. Animated shorts frequently portrayed black characters and other minorities using exaggerated features, broken speech, and simplistic behavior designed for comic effect. This influence reached its peak with Song of the South, 1946, released in Atlanta. The film depicted black characters as cheerful and content, disconnected from the harsh realities of post-slavery America. Critics, including the New York Times, condemned the film for romanticizing history. Disney never responded publicly, nor did he withdraw the film. It was quietly removed from wide US release years later, becoming an avoided legacy rather than a confronted one. Former employees later recalled biased remarks toward Jewish workers and immigrants going unchallenged, creating an environment where exclusion felt normal. Clark Gable presents a more complicated case. In 1939, during the filming of Gone with the Wind, Gable famously defended Hattie McDaniel, threatening to leave the production if she continued to face segregated restroom rules. This act earned him praise as a progressive figure. However, backstage accounts published years later reveal a different side. Several black actors recalled Gable using dismissive language in private, framing bias as professional judgment rather than hostility. While Gable stood up in one highly visible moment, he never advocated for broader change. He did not push for more leading roles for actors of color or challenge systemic discrimination. According to later reports in Ebony magazine, many actors described him as polite but unwilling to go further. His legacy reflects how a single public gesture can overshadow ongoing private limitations. Unlike Wayne or Gable, Gary Cooper expressed his influence through silence. In 1947, during a closed-door discussion in Los Angeles, Cooper argued that Hollywood should not move ahead of society when it came to racial equality. His calm demeanor and respected image as the ideal American man caused his views to be accepted as reasonable rather than biased. As a member of the Motion Picture Alliance, Cooper frequently opposed introducing racial equality themes into films. On set, Cooper's silence had real consequences. When roles for Mexican-American actors were reduced during a 1952 production, Cooper was consulted but chose not to intervene. In an industry where star power could change outcomes, his inaction served as approval. His legacy demonstrates how exclusion can thrive without confrontation. The story continues with Errol Flynn, one of Hollywood's most celebrated adventure stars. During productions like The Adventures of Robin Hood, 1938, Flynn enjoyed enormous freedom. According to memoirs by crew members, he frequently referred to indigenous performers by nicknames instead of their real names, even when they appeared repeatedly. During shoots in Mexico and South America, Flynn complained about local performers and requested reduced screen time for actors of color, claiming they distracted from his presence. His charm shielded him from accountability, allowing exclusionary behavior to persist. In the casting rooms of the 1940s, Bette Davis held enormous power. According to backstage records and memoirs from studio staff, Davis often opposed giving speaking roles or complex scenes to actors of color, framing her objections as professional standards. Scenes were shortened, roles reduced, and opportunities lost without documentation. Davis was praised for being uncompromising. While those affected had no platform to respond, bias also took a more intellectual form through Katharine Hepburn. Private letters and biographies reveal that she believed certain communities were not yet ready for positions of cultural influence. Her language was calm, thoughtful, and persuasive. Producers trusted her judgment, using it to justify delaying change. By framing inequality as a matter of readiness rather than access, exclusion continued without appearing cruel. Even icons like Humphrey Bogart were not immune to these patterns. Early in his career during the 1930s, memoirs describe him using dismissive language toward Asian and Latin American actors in private settings. Complaints about their presence led to reduced screen time. Though Bogart later supported progressive causes, these early actions remain part of his legacy. The final figure brings the story full circle. Ronald Reagan, long before becoming President of the United States, served as head of the Screen Actors Guild between 1947 and 1951. Meeting records show Reagan opposing initiatives designed to expand opportunities for actors of color, arguing such efforts could destabilize the industry. These views followed him into politics, where stability and tradition consistently outweighed equality. Hollywood's golden age gave us unforgettable legends, but it also left behind uncomfortable truths that can no longer be ignored. These stories remind us that power without accountability always carries a cost. By confronting what was hidden, we don't erase history, we learn from it. Thanks for watching. If this story made you think, subscribe, share your thoughts below, and stay with us for more untold Hollywood stories.